inspire them right now of how important it is to be the spiritual leader, not only of your household, but the influence that you have as a coach.
Yeah, I think we're better at coaching other people than just putting our own, making sure we have our own foundation under our lives, and
Hmm.
that is the Word of God. That is church. That is leading your family. That is family devotions. That is talking about them. I think sometimes maybe even when I see some young solid Christian guys, but you're so busy, and but we've got to pour it into our lives. We've got to pour it into our marriage. We got to make sure we make time to be at church, and it's got to be times where you open that Word of God with your family. There's got to be. I think one of the things that maybe in some little way I did right was just sharing the experiences of life with my kid. Hey, here's what's going on with Dad. Dad's scared. Dad doesn't know what's going to happen, and but I'm going to trust. And so I think that's the big thing. And then also just that it's about him. That it's got to be to exalt him. It can't turn. There's a constant pressure for it. There's a pull for it to become your career about your life,
Yeah.
and it's not that. It's not that. It's about, hey, why did he stick me in the Indianapolis Colts building? What am I here for? What is my role? Who am I supposed to influence? Who am I supposed to encourage? And I think that for coaches, it's just one of those things, that it's so enticing for it to be your career, and I think for coaches, if you really have committed this thing to the Lord, then it's about Him. What can I do? And and I didn't always do it perfectly, but I certainly tried, and I always looked for opportunities. The last year at Tampa, there where we won the Super Bowl and stuff, Coach Arians didn't want a chaplain. He wanted it all to be in house, so he said, "Oh, Clyde will just do it." Well, I didn't want, like they needed a better chaplain than Clyde, but even that, the Lord showed up, and just it's a neat way to just in to witness to. We've always tried to have a coach's Bible study. Just I would encourage young coaches, do something. Be a part, help lead the chapel, help set up the chairs, help get the speakers, get the local pastors, get the local kids to figure out how to get the rookies to church. Pick them
Hmm.
up, take them. Lead the coach's Bible study. Take two players through Design for Discipleship or some little program that, or just
Yeah.
read a book of the Bible with a couple players. And and Indy, a bunch of us started through Romans. Me and Jacob, Tammy, and Jeff said a bunch of us started through Romans, and there were 16 chapters. We thought we were going to make it through in 16 weeks for the 16 weeks of the season, and it took me about 6 years to make it through. It was so heavy, but we just went verse by verse. And but do something. Like I think that's
Yeah.
the mistake that that it's not a passive deal. It's not that you have to, and then when you do something, then the Lord jumps in and supernaturally just charges
That's
it and
right.
does something way beyond what you thought possibly could happen. I remember my
That's right.
first year in the NFL with Coach Dungy, and I said, "Hey, I think I'm supposed to do something for the coaches." And I go, "I'm not sure any coach will." I'm a young punk from college. I hadn't coached in the NFL, and I'll be darned if 12 coaches showed up, and man, we would open our Bible. It wasn't anything deep, but it's, hey, what did you learn from the reading this week? And we started reading through the Bible, whatever, 25 years ago, and some of them now we're still going, and we still text, and the Jim Caldwells, and obviously the Frank Wrights, and but had some godly men along the way who were much more mature than I was, but a lot of people, and just to do something. I think my encouragement for young coaches would be jump in
Yeah.
and do something out of your comfort zone. None of us feel qualified. None of us feel like we have time in coaching to prepare. We'll do it Monday. We'll have a coaches study at University of North Carolina where I'm kind of volunteering and helping out a little bit. And I don't have time. I don't feel qualified to do it, but you just jump in and do it. And all of a sudden the Lord does something
Yeah.
way beyond what you ever pictured happening.
That's right. Yeah, he'll take our little and make it much. So thank you for those. That was. I mean, those are wise words of wisdom right there. And I could literally sit here and talk to you all day